Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a tutorial on this look right here. As you can see, it's super glittery and glitzy and fun. So I know glitter can be super crazy and difficult to work with, especially the loose kind that I'm using in this video. But I'm going to show you my favorite tips and tricks on how to make it last the entire day on your eyes. Even if you're going clubbing or somewhere, I think this trick works really well. And it's always fun to play with a little bit of glitter. I mean, come on, it's glitter. So yeah, if you want to see how to recreate this look right here, then just keep watching the video. And please, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it does help my channel a lot. And your support is always awesome. So thank you so much for that, and now let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyelids, and today I'm using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Eden. And this one is going to neutralize any redness in my eyelids and also prep them for eyeshadow and make them last a lot longer. And so after that, I'm going to add some definition to my crease with a blending brush from Sigma, and the shadow I'm using is from La Masque in the shade Heroine, which if you haven't been following me for a while, you will know it's my favorite shade to contour either the face or the socket of the eye. So I'm just placing it right in the crease and then blending it up to the brow bone. After that, I'm going to take this cool tone eyeshadow from MAC in the shade Charcoal Brown, and using a short shader brush from Coastal Scents, I'm going to apply it right into the socket of the eye to add even more definition. And the reason why I'm doing this is basically I'm placing a base for the glitter afterwards, because if you do all of these gradient steps before adding the glitter, you're going to have a lot more gradient and natural effect. Not really natural, but the colors are just going to fade a lot more better and look more blended. And then I'm going to take this Maroon Berry shade from Coastal Scents, which is a really fun purple. You can add any different kind of accent color. I just really like purple, and honestly when you start blending everything out, you're not going to be able to see it too much. I mean, obviously you can intensify it if you want to, but as you can see, I'm going back to the blending brush again to soften everything down. And then the final eyeshadow I'm going to use for now is Carbon from MAC, which is the blackest, most intense color I could find, and I'm using just a detail brush from Coastal Scents, and I'm going to apply it again right into the socket of the eye. Now to add a base to the eyelids, I'm going to use this Lancome Kohl eyeliner, and I'm going to apply it all over my eyelid. I'm going to try to make it as even as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect because afterwards I'm actually going to take a brush to blend everything out and make it look a lot smoother. It's time for the fun part, or actually the glitter. So first I'm going to take the Collection glitter liquid liner, and I'm going to place it on kind of a synthetic brush that's really going to pack on the color, and then I'm going to dip it into glitter. The reason why I'm wetting the brush first is because it's going to make the glitter really stick to the eyelids, as you can see right here, and it just makes them last a lot longer, and the glitter is a lot more intense than if you were to apply it without an adhesive. Final step for the eyelids is going to be to mix the Carbon shade and Maroon Berry on a synthetic brush. This one is from Urban Decay, and just blend out the crease even more and make sure everything fades nicely. Then after I've removed all of the glitter mess that fell on my cheeks, I'm going to use the Infallible 24-Hour Foundation from L'Oreal, and this is the Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush to apply it on my skin to even everything out. You really want to make sure your face is as flawless as possible, because you know, when you're doing a really heavy makeup look, it kind of requires a really balanced look on the face as well. So just try concealing all of your imperfections and make your canvas look as flawless as possible. And before I move on to the lower lash line, I'm going to highlight underneath the eyes using my Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade number 1 Porcelain. And I'm just going to apply it very heavily underneath the eyes and also to the center of the face. And then I'm going to go back to the foundation brush I was using and just blend everything out. finish and also keep the flawless finish going, I'm gonna use the MAC Studio Fix foundation. First in NC15 at the center of my face, and then I'm gonna use N5 to contour my cheekbones. It's not really a too dark of a shade, but it's gonna provide a nice base for the contour shade I'm gonna place on top of it. So I'm just gonna make sure everything is nice and blended and mattified, because the glitter is really intense and I didn't want anything shiny on the rest of my skin. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as matte as possible. Tools brush, I'm going to use the Alamasca Heroin shade I was using in the sockets of my eyes first, and I'm going to contour and sculpt the cheekbones even further, placing it right into the hollows of the cheeks and blending upwards. The base is done, I'm going to move on to the eyebrows, and I'm first going to use the Kiko Precision Eyebrow Pencil in the shade number 3, and I'm just going to fill in my brows where I need them and also kind of extend them on the outer corner, and then I'm going to set them in place with my L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper in the shade number Dark Brown. It's not a number, but the shade is called Dark Brown. Go back to the eyes and finish off the lower lash line, and first I'm using the Express Line eyeliner from Coastal Scents in the shade Brown, and I'm just going to trace this eyeliner right against the lashes, and then after that I'm going to use the Maroon Berry shade from Coastal Scents I was using before to blend it out and make everything look really smoky, which is kind of the whole point of this look, kind of glittery and smoky and fun. So I'm just blending it out with the Urban Decay brush I was using before as well. Then I'm also going to darken up the waterline using the Lancome eyeliner I was using for the base of the eyes, and I'm just going to darken everything up, and then after that I'm going to move on to the mascaras. And today I'm using actually a combo from Coastal Scents. This is their Envision mascaras. One is for lengthening and one is for volume. So I'm first applying a few coats of the volume one, and then I'm going to separate the lashes using the lengthening one. To highlight the inner corners, I'm using my favorite highlighter from Ingla. This is their eyeshadow in the shade 453, and I'm using the natural crease brush from Coastal Scents to apply it to the inner corners and also on the brow bone. To add a little bit of warmth to the face, I'm using the matte bronzer from Dior in the shade number 3, and this is the MAC 138 brush, I believe, and I'm just very gently placing it on the outside perimeters of my face, kind of adding a little bit of glow and warmth. And then for the cheeks, I'm using the Coastal Scents blush in the shade Fresh, and I'm using the angled blush brush from Sigma Beauty, and I'm first applying it to the apples of the cheeks, and then I'm going to extend it up to the temple.
And then finally for the lips, I'm going to use my favorite nude shade from MAC. This is Myth. And I'm just going to dab it onto the lips and then use my fingers to blend it out to make it look a little bit less harsh. And that actually concludes the entire look.
Alright, so that wraps up the video. Now I'm gonna go out and buy groceries for Easter dinner tomorrow. Yay, because this is daytime look totally. Yeah, do whatever you want, why not? It can be a daytime look if that's what you're into. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, here. Basically, the links are below this video, so you can go and find me on other social media platforms if you'd like to. And if you have any other requests, just leave them in the comments below. I've been getting a ton of questions to do an updated acne updated acne update, great. So I'm definitely gonna do that soon. However, I just returned from the trip to Abu Dhabi, so my skin is super dry and super like traumatized from the trip. So I'm just waiting for it to get back to normal, and then I'm gonna kind of update you on my skin progress. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Bye bye.